Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Pokemon PSA submission video. Now, if you don't know what that is, let me give you a brief rundown. So PSA is a grading authority based in America, and pretty much you can send your cards to them. They're predominantly a sports card company, i.e. baseball cards, basketball cards, etc. However, they do also grade Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And other collectible items too. And pretty much if you send your Pokemon cards off to PSA, they'll first check to make sure it's authentic, and then they'll give you a grade based on the condition of your card. And they look at things like the corner of the card, whether that's mashed up or not. They look at the holofoil, whether it's scratched or marked or stained. And they also look at the centering of your card. For example, how much the card is printed central. Some cards can be printed off to the side, and that's obviously going to get a lower grade than one that's perfectly centered. And yeah, pretty much they'll give you a grade between 1 and 10, 10 being a gem mint card, and then it goes down all the way to 1, the worse the condition of the card is, if that makes sense. So if you guys take a look here, on my desk, I've got 2 examples of what PSA cards look like. I'm also trying a new setup for this video, so let me know if you guys like it. I've got the camera kind of above, floating in the air, thanks to Elgato. So yeah, let me know if you guys like that. So as you can see down here, I've got 2 cards, both graded from PSA. In fact, let me just put them this way around, just because this is number 1, that's number 2. And as you can see here, I've got a Blaine's Arcanine in first edition, Gym Challenge, and then this one has actually got the Gem Mint 10 grade. And then here, I've got the Blaine's Charizard, also first edition, but this time getting the 9 grade. So this is what you can expect to see when you send your cards off to PSA. They'll first of all encapsulate it into this nice plastic case. This obviously ensures that the quality is sustained throughout the life of the card, and it's also just a nice way of presenting it. We also know, because PSA have actually given it a grade, that this is an authentic Pokemon card. It's not a fake, it's not a custom card, you know, this is legit. And it's also there got the indicator of the Gem Mint 10 grade, as long as the serial number here. That's useful for just, again, verifying the card. And you can go online and you can also see the population report, which means how many exist of a PSA 10, how many exist of a PSA 9, etc. So if you take a look at this, it's all pretty nice. PSA Sports, as you can see. Oh, Professional Sports Authenticator, that's what PSA stands for. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I'm trying to collect. Obviously, a lot of collectors do enjoy to collect these cards. One, because it, like I said, it perfects the quality down the line. Also, it can raise the value a little bit because you can actually see what grade it's got. You can see what condition it is, and you can guarantee it. For example, on eBay, if I buy a card that isn't graded, as you guys have seen in the previous video, you can't guarantee what the quality is like, no matter how good the picture is. They could say it's perfect, you get it, and you can see some scratches on the holofoil, and you can see issues with the centering, as I saw in my last video. Personally, I'm trying to collect a lot of the first Pokemon cards in PSA 10. So for example, this Charizard, I'll be looking to replace that. So if you guys have any, please let me know. I'll be happy to buy it off you, whether it's graded or ungraded. You can just head over to my Twitter. My DMs are always open, and I check them quite often. So yeah, if you want to contact me, that's the way to do it. Okay, so now you guys know a little bit more about what a PSA card is. Today, I'm going to be showing you my next submission, i.e. the cards that I'm going to be sending off to get graded by PSA next. So as you can see on the camera here, I've got a stack of cards. I think I've got around 30 or so here. And being as PSA is an American company and I live in the UK, it can be a little bit difficult sending your cards overseas to them. I have done it direct to them before, and you have to deal with things like shipping costs, insurance costs, tax on the way back when it comes back into the country, customs. So because I'm in the UK, I've decided that I'm going to send my cards through a middleman service, and this service that I'm going to be using is called Ludkin's Collectibles. I've also used these guys before. Barney is a brilliant guy. He's a big collector himself. He actually bought a card from me on eBay a while ago that I wish I never sold. But yeah, he's a great guy, and his service pretty much allows people in the UK or Europe an easier way to send their cards off to PSA. He handles all of the tax, all of the shipping, all of the nitty-gritty stuff that you don't have to deal with. And he also gives you a pre-grading service, which kind of gives you a second look at the cards, because I might look at these cards and think they're a certain grade. He might look at them and be like, nah, that's not a 10, Randolph, that's like a 7 or something. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to be using Ludkin's to send these cards off, and I feel like I've spoken way too much in this video already, so let's get into the cards themselves. So as you can see down here, I've got a pretty big stack of cards that I'm going to be sending, so let me just split them up just so I can show you guys a little bit easier, because I've got a wide angle lens in this camera, and this here, I'm touching the camera lens right now. That's how close this is to my card, you know, so I can't hold too many. Okay, so these are actually not in order. I've just been going through these recently and checking them myself, making sure that they're at a condition that I'm happy to send, pretty much guaranteeing they're getting a 9 or a 10, or at least hopefully. So because of that, these aren't in order at all. But we have an Erica's Clefable. This card is in pretty good condition. All of these cards that I'm going to send off pretty much have perfect backs to them, apart from like a few little nicks in the corner. But sometimes PSA kind of allow for that because it's not your fault, you know. Sometimes it can can be an issue with the printing or the factory. And yeah, this card is pretty much beautiful. The centering looks pretty good, maybe a little bit top heavy, but you know, something that I'm willing to take the risk on. And with most of these cards in this submission that I'm sending off, my worry, or my, I guess you could say, concern with them is the actual scratching on the holo foil. When I get my phone and I put the torch on and I go really close, there are quite a few light scratches, but sometimes PSA let you off for those. So we'll pretty much see down the line what these cards come back as. And if you are wondering, yes, I'll also do another video unboxing the card grades that I get when these come back from PSA. And I won't look at the grades on email. I'll literally open them with you guys so you get my pure reaction on the grades that I'm gonna get. So yeah, there we have a Clefable. Next up, we have the Rocket's Trap, also from Gym Heroes. So I have a full set of PSA cards in PSA 9 and PSA 10, and now I'm trying to go after the Gym Heroes. If you're wondering, these cards are the cards that I pulled when I was a kid with my mum. So these cards do hold a lot of sentimental value for me. So we have the Rocket's Trap, we have Lieutenant Surge, again, pretty perfect on the back. I'd love to get this one in a 10. We've got Erica, again, beautiful card. We have Rocket's Hitmonchan. This card is a pretty solid shot at a 10, I believe. The back is good, maybe a little bit of a nick down there. So again, sometimes you're risking getting a 9 or a 10. That's just the risk you have to take. But like I said, because these are cards that I pulled from my childhood collection, I don't actually mind that because they mean a lot to me and I would love to keep them forever anyway, you know. So if it does come back a 9, even though it might not be the best financial decision to send it off because it costs money to send off, you know, and it might not actually sell for that if I ever do choose to sell it. These cards do mean a lot to me, so I'm happy to grade them and I'm happy to take that risk, you know. Next up, we've got a Misty's Tentacruel. This one is pretty good as well. It is kind of heavily right to left on the centering, but you know, we'll take that risk. We've got a Lieutenant Surge's Electabuzz, which is perfectly centered. This card is really, you know, I'm probably, you know, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it when these grades come back, but that one I'm pretty confident with. We've got a Misty. This card's a bit of a risk, and also Brock is a bit of a risk, but you know, that's a risk that I'm willing to take. Okay, and that looks like it's it for the Gym Hero cards. Next up, we have not one, but two Shadowless Red Cheek Pikachus. The red cheek variant is a little bit rarer than the yellow cheek variant, and I just found these in my collection. Somehow I've got a lot of Shadowless cards from my childhood collection, so I must have opened a box of Shadowless cards. I wish I knew that at the time, but yeah. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on the channel, but I also had a Shadowless Charizard base set in my collection when I was a kid, and actually got that graded through Ludkins. He pre-graded it a 7 and actually came back a 9, and then I ended up selling it for like £400 to pay for my wedding, and that card now can fetch, you know, £1,500 and up, so I'm pretty gutted that I let that one go. So we have two Shadowless Red Sheep Pikachus here. I'm excited to see what these guys get. A very nice card indeed. Next up, we have a Steelix from Neo Genesis. This card is pretty nice, centered pretty well. Again, it does have a few holo foil scratches on the holo, but you know, that's just how it goes. But it's a dark card, you know, so I'm wondering if they'll actually be able to spot that, because I couldn't. I had to look very hard to find those scratches. Next, we have a Nidoqueen from Skyridge. This card is in pretty good condition. It's not in the best condition, but all it has is a few holo foil scratches. So I'm hoping they let me off for that. I'm hoping they don't grade too harshly. Here we have a Koga. Actually, like I said before, I do have the full set of Gym Challenge in 9 and 10, but I have this card as a 9, so I'd love to get this card in a 10, hence the reason me sending another one off. Next up, we have a Giovanni's Persian. Again, I have this in PSA 9, but I'm really hoping for that PSA 10 grade. It's nice on the back. The centering is pretty good. The only thing is it has a pretty heavy scratch on the holo foil. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'll try and illuminate it with my phone. I can see it with my eyes. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the camera, but it's like right here, the scratches. But again, sometimes they let that off. You know, it's a hairline scratch. It's very, very small, so hopefully they'll let that off. Next up, we have a Misty's Golduck. Again, this is a big risk. It's got a corner nick down here, but this card goes for a lot in PSA 10, so if on the off chance the grader is feeling nice to me and it gives me a good grade for this, it's going to save me a lot of money in, you know, going on eBay and finding a PSA 10 version of this card. So we'll send it off, we'll see what Ludkins says, and we'll see what it gets when it comes back from PSA. Next up, we have a Dark Kazaam. Again, the only issue with this card is quite a few scratches on the holo foil. Next up, we have a Dark Machamp, first edition, Team Rocket. And similar to the Dark Alakazam, this also has a few scratches on the holo foil, but other than that, you know, it's in really great condition. If you see any marks on these cases, sometimes it could just be the cases, you know, just getting on them. Hopefully I don't have these cards out in the air for too long to gain more dust, but you know, I'm just showing these guys for YouTube purposes. Then we have a Dark Gyarados first edition, again from Team Rocket. And again, with this card, pretty much the only issue is a few holo foil scratches, so we'll see what that comes back as. Next, we have a Dark Charizard, not first edition. So my Team Rocket set is really annoying. It's like half first edition, half unlimited. So I'm definitely on the lookout for some Team Rocket first edition cards. If you guys have any, please let me know, because I'm trying to get the first edition cards, and also I'm trying to get the unlimited. If I have them, why not send them off? This card is, again, pretty good. It's got some scratches in the holo foil, so maybe that'll come back a 9. Blastoise, again, not first edition, unfortunately, but still a beautiful card nonetheless, and I still love to get this encapsulated and graded. Again, the only issue on that is the scratches on the holo foil. So these are all pretty much risks. Like, I grade really harshly personally. I look at these cards and I think they're all, you know, I'd say in terms of PSA grading, I'll be like, oh, they're trash and they're not going to get the grade that I want. But they're still beautiful cards. And if they don't get that grade 10 and they get a 9, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, you know. But you never know. Sometimes the grader might be feeling generous, and sometimes the grader might look at it, you know, better than you do. I could grade this card really, really harsh, a nick in the corner that you can see. But other people might not see it that way, you know. So it's always worth the risk. And like I said before, these are cards for my personal collection, so why not send them off and get these, you know, encapsulated. Again, another Team Rocket card, but this is actually the secret rare. I think this is one of the first secret rares they ever did, and you can tell it's a secret rare because you can see in the corner if it focuses. I believe it. There we go. Is it going to focus? You can see here it's 83 out of 82. So that's what we call a secret rare, because, you know, it's not in the main set list. And this is a beautiful card. This has got it's a bit of a stretch for this one to get a 10, but it's, you know, it's highly sought after in a 10, and it's a beautiful card. I would love to have that in even a 9. So I'm sending that off. Next up, we have a Meowth. This is a Black Star promo, Game Boy, I believe this is called. And look at this. It's just a beautiful card, man. This is from the Black Star promos, the original Black Star promos. And yeah, pretty beautiful card that I would love to get cased up and graded. So I'm sending that off. Next up, we have a Pikachu. Now, this card is not really worth much. It's not really like a sought-after card for a lot of people, but it is a Black Star promo. I think it's the second run of the Black Star promo. This is like the Ruby and Sapphire era, I believe. But this is the 10th anniversary of Pokemon, and I actually went to the event. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember where this was, but I think it was in a shopping centre with my brother in Birmingham or in Sheffield, one of the two. And I remember going with him and my friend from school, picked this card up. This card was given to me. So I don't think this is going to get a 10. You can see that big nick in the corner there. However, like I said before, this card has a big sentimental value to me, so I would love to get this graded because it means a lot to me. Even if it doesn't get the grade that I want or is desired, it's still okay, you know, because this is a card that I value highly in my collection. And instead of it just being sat in a sleeve in a cupboard, I would love to get the actual PSA slab, the PSA graded card, to keep in my collection and to look at in the future. Next up, we have a Charizard. This is from when CP6 came out. This is when they printed the original base set in Generations, and also in a set called CP6 in Japan. And I ended up buying a bunch of the Japanese boxes and opened them all. I should have held them because these boxes are now worth, you know, $200, and I bought them at like, you know, $50, $60 or whatever they were at the time. So I probably should have held on to them. However, I did have a lot of fun opening these cards, and this is just a Charizard, a promo Charizard from that set, in pretty good nick. The Japanese cards are always good quality, so you can always kind of, you know, have your hopes held high when you send these off to get graded. Next up, we have a Houndoom. This is a beautiful card. This is a Houndoom from Skyridge, and I mean, just look at this card, guys. It's just so beautiful. You know, the dark background, the holofoil, the way he's like howling, it's just insane. This card, I'm not sure if it's going to get a 10. I'm pretty sure all my Skyridge cards are going to get a 9, but it's worth the risk. It's worth sending them off. So hopefully we can, you know, hopefully I can be proven wrong and this can come back as a good grade. And then last but not least, we have one more card left in this PSA submission. And this is, I think I know what it is. Yeah, this is an Articuno, also from Skyridge. Again, card's in pretty good condition. It's just a holofoil that I'm a little bit unsure of. It's got a few scratches down it. So yeah, fingers crossed this comes back a good grade. But yeah, we will see. Anyway, that is the last card of the set in today's video that I'm sending off to PSA. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos as I have more cards to grade, so make sure you guys subscribe for more content like this. But yeah, let me just check. I have 1, 2, 3, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so I have 27 cards here ready to be sent off to PSA. I'm now going to go package these up nicely, get them sent off to Ludkins. I'll be back with you guys in hopefully the fastest possible time frame, but I'm sure it'll be a month or so away from now. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to see the returns. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said before, please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more PSA submissions and also see some more PSA returns when I get these cards back. I know a lot of you guys have been asking to see my full collection. I will do a video at some point going through my whole collection, but I'm not going to do it just yet, mainly because I'm still working on putting my cards into new binders. I've got a lot of the old-fashioned binders when I had my cards as a kid in my old collection, but recently I've been wanting to upgrade them a little bit and put them in newer binders. As you can see here, this one is just built better, it's just better quality, so I'd like to put it into here. So yeah, I'm still going through my collection, sleeving up cards, moving them into different binders, and also I kind of want to wait a little bit until I can build the channel up a little bit more, because I know my collection videos are going to be very popular, and I would like to build the channel up a little bit before I give away a video that is, you know, that high, if you know what I'm saying. So I want to try and build that up. I want to teach you guys a little bit. So again, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. And yeah, this has been Randolph. Leave a like. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next upload. Peace.